You gonna let in the guest then?
So we are set for recording and streaming whenever you want to let everybody in and we can go.
Oops. Sure. Got it. They're joining now.
I think Dominic made it.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Okay.
Dominic's here.
Yeah.
Is John Rushi there?
Don't see him.
Okay.
Hello, Dominic Swindon.
Hi, Dominic.
Hey, Dominic.
Oh, there's Pam.
All right, well, why don't we start? We're
Go ahead
just
and
about
start.
6:30 up, okay? We will call to order the Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 virtual meeting of the Birmingham Parks and Recreation Board. We have a roll call, please.
Yep. Remember to say city and state. Heather Carmona.
Present, Birmingham, Michigan.
Susan Collins.
Present, Birmingham, Michigan.
Pam Graham.
You're still connecting, Connie. Want to try again, Ken?
Yeah, Pam Graham. Let me go to the next one. I'll call her back. Ross Kaplan.
Present, Birmingham, Michigan.
Ellie Noble.
Present, Birmingham, Michigan.
Dominic Felice.
Present, Birmingham, Michigan.
John Rushi. Pam Graham.
She is currently connecting to audio.
Yeah, I have to wait till she. Ann Lip. Ann.
Present, Birmingham, Michigan. Present, Birmingham, Michigan.
Thank you. So Ann's going to be in for John tonight. And then Pam Graham is still connecting to audio.
All right, we can always add her to the minutes later, right? We'll proceed.
Yep, proceed.
Yep. Okay. All right. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the Tuesday, January 5th regular meeting. Do you have any comments or notes, changes from any members of the board? Anne?
Hey, there's just, I don't mean to be picky. There's just one spot where my last name's spelled wrong on page 3.
No problem. I need to make that correction.
This
Got
is
it.
we're talking about the minutes from last time, right?
Yep. I got it. I got it, Ann.
Oh, thanks. Sorry.
You're okay.
Okay, any other comments from members of the board? All right, seeing none, we will, I always forget, we need to vote and approve these, right?
We
Or is
need
it
a
just
motion.
file?
No, we need a motion for approval.
Motion to approve the minutes?
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Roll call. Heather Carmona.
Yes.
Susan Collins.
Yes.
Pam Graham.
Hi, Pam.
Ross Kaplan.
Yes.
Ellie Noble.
Yes.
Dominic Felice.
Yes.
John Rushi is a no-show. Ann Lip.
Yes.
Pam Graham. Just go on. I'll catch up to her. Oh, there she is. Pam, are you muted?
She shook her head yes. Is that
Okay.
enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Pam, you think you're unmuted, but I don't know if we can't hear you.
I think she's
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I had to join by phone and I didn't realize *6 was how I got on. So I don't know how to. Thanks.
Okay, all right, we can move on to the agenda item.
No worries. I'll send my 11-year-old over. She was helping me. All right. The next item on the agenda, or the first item on the agenda, is the annual golf report. And we have Jackie joining us this evening.
Hi,
Great to see
everyone.
you, Jackie.
Hi, and thank you for having me. And we just had an explosive year in 2020. COVID being a kind of a real bad thing, but also a good thing in the golf industry. All over the country, as the National Golf Foundation recorded 13.9% up in rounds since 2012. The only two states that they did talk about that did not to get it was Hawaii and Nevada, due to the fact that they're a tourism and they didn't travel. But equipment was up, lessons were up, rounds were up. So to start there, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to bring that report up. And if you give me just a second, does everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay, is it small or big enough for y'all?
It's good.
Okay. All right. So let me just get into my page. And I am most thankful I am is for the golfers, because if it wasn't for them coming and playing during these times, we wouldn't had such a successful year. And also the employees, they handled challenges all the way throughout the year, and they did tremendous. And John over at Springdale, you know, he was right there on my right side. All the new guys, new guys and gals that came through with the college students. And Brian, I think the courses was one of the best years in shape-wise. And on top of all this, we were blessed with weather. If we could have had a double whammy if Mother Nature kicked in. But as you can see here, we finished a net surplus of a 259,335. So it was an extremely great year. Closest to that year is 2012, and 2012 was an exemplary Mother Nature where we started early in March and ended in December. So that was one of our closest years. But overall, COVID came, it's still here, and we learned to adapt, adjust, and make sure all our golfers and members and guests were safe. And we have a survey as we go down through here of what the members said. So basically, we did the park and play with the National Golf Course Owners Association. We opened on the 25th at Lincoln Hills, and we closed November 30th. And November 30th was November was a nicer month, if you will, compared to the last 2 years. Springdale opened right after on the 27th, and they closed about October 18th. And we do always close one golf course, basically to funnel everybody to one course. But we also are short on labor and staff, so it's more of a business that we do close one earlier. And we also do the aerifying the greens. So there is a method to our madness. Memberships all the way through the summer. You saw how we increased all our members. We kind of were steady up with our residents, 8% increase. However, all our surrounding communities really joined us, and we had an increase about 20%, 167 new members. We did do a COVID discount for our non-residents because we weren't sure where we were going. Not a lot of people were knocking at the door. So we thought it was a nice gesture on our part to give something to them for a crazy world. In lieu of our early bonus sign up this year, we are going to keep that going just for that 2-week span and offer them a $25 discount for 2021. Instead of, we usually give them a free round when they join during these 2 weeks. However, we will be doing a $25 discount only for those 2 weeks to get them in. That also helps the staff when we get the members in, because a lot of times when they come out and play, they're doing their memberships and it can boggle down the counter. So that early bonus in March really is a good tool for us. Down on the bottom there, we had about 1,064 members that are new to us. And that is our objective in 2021, is to create activities and engage them so they're going to come back to us and want to play the game. So we do have a few items, new items that we're going to do on activities to make that happen. Any questions so far? Okay. Rounds, of course, with all this stuff, we were up 29%, 14,444. And I can't say enough. We were open, they came, they played, and they kept coming. It was a great year. And this is just a little chart showing how we increased overall to 64,236. And this is a nice breakdown. This is a breakdown of all our rounds compared to last year and this year. And one of our objectives, I'm sorry about that, is our adult play, because it was down. Boy, did they come out. Weekday, they played about 95% above. And the weekend, the juniors increased because of the families. We saw a lot of juniors come out with their families over the weekends, and it was really nice to see. So overall, our adult was the category that was increased with our numbers at 69%. Any questions on that? You guys are all muted. Okay, I'm just gonna go crazy.
We're supposed to be.
Okay, and this is just a little snapshot of our categories playing down here at Lincoln Hills. So that everybody across the board, we were up. And it was really, really a great year. Springdale was increased. I just want to pop up in Springdale. Didn't hit our 2012, but we were sure close to it. We were just about 1,000 off. And Springdale always is lower. So we maximize both courses. And our objective again is hopefully we can get these golfers back out. They are saying that 1/5 of the people are going to stay home once the world kind of gets back to a normalcy. So hopefully we'll have more of that going on. But Springdale also fared out well. Again, the adults came out. They were at home a lot, and our juniors again on the weekend. So we had the same scenario. And you'll notice that there's not a lot of red, only a little bit. And the red part is because of our leagues that started late. And our unlimited didn't play as much. But that's pretty much in our high schools. We did not have a season for the boys. So that's why rounds were down a little bit in that department. But they are moving forward. I'm getting calls for March. Their season starts March 15th. So I think they're gung-ho, and we'll have that number going back up in 2021. Junior golf, this number was down. We a little bit down on our revenues, but we had to adjust to having our instructors. We had less students. We had 9 to a class instead of the 12 to 14, in which I think the way we separated them and kept them distance, we will go back up to 10 to 12. And we also have a new software registration, which every year we went online completely. So I did hear some comments that it was just a little bit too difficult. So we're trying to experiment with a new one, and I'm looking forward to having that. The ADM model, the PGA is very big on this, and it's getting these kids to do not just golf, but to do structure with activities from jumping, throwing balls, meeting people. But the great thing about the ADM, they have all these structured plans, and it's really neat. And every year they roll out new ones, so we'll have new ones coming up. But our expectations will probably be right back to normal in that 477 zone for 2021. Food and beverage, well, people weren't here for food and beverage. We were shut down until June 6th. So the way we're going forward, we're going to be introducing boxed lunch items. So we're not so much touchy-feel until we get through this, but a little bit more for the league plays, the lunch plays, and hopefully we can kick this up again. Capital improvements, We did have our pergola and our flooring done at Springdale. It turned out very, very beautiful. And the porous pave is a product that you guys have throughout the city in some areas. Excuse me. And that way the water just goes right through, and it's a very nice product, and it worked out very well. You see a lot more people sitting out there now. And we are going to be adding a little bit more tables and chairs outside to get a little bit more space at both properties to get people to hang out a little bit more after they're around. And because on these patios, we only have 16 to 20. So we're going to add another 12 to 16 at both properties. Capital improvements, what's coming up is we're doing cart paths at Springdale, the abutments on all the bridges, 4 or 5. And number 2, it kind of rutted out. We're going to add another cart path up in there. We do have some other areas, which we'll probably do as we go along. New T signs at Springdale, a new bathroom, a fabricated building with a cement pad. And we're going to begin the process for our new irrigation system. So we're excited about that. And that will alleviate a lot. The issue with the irrigation over there is one row. It's a very old system, and the flow of the water always gets the heads all dirty with all the stuff that comes out of there. So the first objection, first thing that getting the irrigation in is taking care of the water source, and that is a big, big issue with the river. So that will be taken care of, and then we have a new system. We will be much more greener, and hopefully we can get those greens a little faster. Lincoln Hills, the in-store closure for garbage dumpsters in the parking lot. We're going to be doing some beds. We have a cart path area around 2 and 3 that we want to put a bed there and put more of a wall barrier on that T, so it's a little more private on number 7. Repairing drainage on number 4 near the green. New entrance sign, and we'd like to build up putting green because it's so much usage through the junior golf, and when the junior golf is in there, it takes all the spots. So we've got an area there that's really kind of dead that we could use more space for much more golfers. This is just a quick end of season survey. Our net promoter being 78%. This gives you an idea of who out of the 380 participants and how much golf they play. So majority do play, 41% play 2 rounds and 38% play 1 round. And there's a few of the 380s that play 3 or 4 more rounds. Satisfaction, we've got pretty good high guards here. Condition of bunkers and pace of play. And the tees were just a little bit that we're going to be focusing on for this year for the golf course. But overall, I will have to say Brian did a great job getting these courses up and running, how quickly we have to get up and running because with the COVID state restrictions at that time, we weren't even allowed on the golf courses. There's a lot of discussion on that. And I give a lot of kudos to the PGA, the National Golf Course Owners Association, the GAM Golf Association of Michigan, because they got together and they're the ones who fought for the golf courses, and they really did a great job throughout. Out of the 380, there was 3 people, 1% that said they weren't going to respond. So I think that is great information for us to survey. And this is a big tool because this was what we did for all the things. And if you go through here, the hot spot that I see that we need to improve on is bathrooms, which we will be opening. We did not open them. We didn't have a lot of touch spot on the course. So we are going to probably keep those doors open, sanitize station in there, and with a sign of some sort to let them know that we are not sanitizing on a daily basis as we should due to staff. No ball washers, that's the other one, and single cart, everybody loved it. So we'll probably keep keeping all that going. The only changes are the bathrooms and the ball washers and the rakes. But everything else on that chart, you can see the yellow and the maroon Those are excellent and good. They were happy with what we did. This is just a revenue expenditure, expense, revenue, and expenses overall. We hit the 1.3 and we kept our expenses kind of in line, but we did have a little bit more. But 1.376 is one of our highest years. And this is just a little chart of where we've gotten with Lincoln Hills, the trend, keeping those expenses under the revenues. And down below here is all the charts of a summary of the last five years. And you can see the expenditures kind of were a little bit under here, and it looked good. We were happy with it. And this here is Springdale. So we did get our expenses under that. And just to refresh everybody, I know there's some new faces. 2018 was our year of bridges. So we opened really late, and that is why that year is so bad. 2019 was a little bit more weather. Mother Nature wasn't kind to us in 2018 and 19. So we're trying to make sure she gives us a good year, especially a spring. We're due for a good spring. And this is a 3-year financials of what we've done through revenues, kind of in check here. You can kind of see our weekday green fees and our weekend green fees over last year. We're skyrocketed. Our expenses for our maintenance, we were kind of in check in here. And our expenses for the clubhouse, which a lot of things fall into. The contribution down here, the red, offset the pergola and the paving. And the retiree health care, that is a number at the end of the year in June. They all get together with the pool of all the employees, and they charge a certain amount, but then it gets fixed at the end of the fiscal year. So it all depends on what the motion, who's retired, who's not, who's picked up. So that will always change a little bit. Memberships, again, we got the golfers here. So we need to look at 2021 and keeping them here and making sure that they're playing to have another exceptional year. Meet and greet new members. These are some of the things that we're going to be doing. We do these already, except the sip and chip. The family cup days are new. Those are, it's a new national PGA pilot. It's similar to the PGA Junior, but now this is family, which means that I have my family, you have your family. We have all these teams. They go out and they go play a scramble, and then we'll have fun things afterwards. Maybe a little barbecue, and maybe a couple of complimentary clinics in there before they go out. It's a great way to see families playing, and you can have your grandma with you, you can have your grandpa with you, and they might not even play, but it's a nice family time to be on a golf course and see the little ones play. Sip and chip is, I'm trying to gear that toward the beginners, especially from this past year, where they will get a nice fun little invite to come out, where they get a little work on the short game and then go out on the golf course and learn a little bit. So they continue to play and develop golfers to become our core golfers. Get golf ready is simple. Break 60, 55, 50. That's a good way to get introduced to the game. And we've got complimentary golf clinics in May. And again, the PGA Junior League. Marketing tools, every year we use kind of the same things with a little more avenues where we find that it worked. The Little Guide, Detroit, is a really good place for our junior golf. We do postcard mailings. We're using the Jewish News. Last year we used, I kind of moved that one around because I do use, go to other places. Last year we were in Hugo in the Hills in their bulletin. We utilize the BPSD business, local schools, and we do a bunch of e-notify, the website, we miss you letters. So we try to get as much information as we can out there. And most importantly is our staff. Our staff does it all by word of mouth. Play, learn, and grow together. And that's it. Any questions?
Fabulous. Any questions comments from any of the board members?
I'd just like to commend Jackie and her staff. It's a great report.
Thank you, Ross.
Is
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. It was a hard year. It was a fun one, but it was hard.
Jackie, if you stop sharing your screen, Heather might be able to see if there's any questions a little bit better.
That's okay, I'm trying. Thanks, Kerry, is that obvious?
Yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Kerry.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Keep up
I
the good
don't
work,
see
Jackie.
any.
Lot of great progress over the past several years. The data proves the story, and more good things to come. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, make sure Mother Nature's nice.
Yeah. No, I just want to comment. Oh, go ahead, Ellie. Mhm.
Yeah, as a new member of the subcommittee of the golf subcommittee, this is actually the second time I've seen this, so it's just such a joy to be on the committee with Jackie, because
Oh, Ellie.
it's amazing your enthusiasm as well as how you care about each and every golfer. I mean, your relationship with all the people that come to these places is part of the reason it's so successful.
Oh, it's a big team.
Yeah.
And, but thank
Yeah.
you.
But
And I
yeah,
will pass that along.
right. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would just like to say, looking at the numbers, as Dominic said, they speak for themselves. And, whether we think this past year was an anomaly or not, I think what stands out to me a lot in the data is, when you look at the member survey and you look at the percentage of people who have been members for, 3 to 5 years, but then 20 years plus, that's almost the same amount. And so
Mhm.
what that says to me is this is great for sustainability, for the future of the golf courses. So people aren't aging out of the courses. We have people at both ends of it.
Right.
And I think the marketing and things that we're doing in potentially, if it does, we see a little, fall off next year, people go back to their regular lives and don't think golf's part of that. I mean, that cultivation that you're doing with all those events, I think we'll just see that grow. So yeah, it's phenomenal. And I can't get over the net surplus. I mean, from 9,500 last year to almost 300,000, it's crazy. So
Thank you.
nice job. Very nice report.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much. I appreciate all you guys and gals.
Hey, Jackie? Jackie,
Yes.
you didn't mention that automated or that online scheduling system you put in. That was awesome. I
Oh,
mean, when you pull in that parking lot, you knew your tee time was going to be at that tee time, and you teed off. There were no jams in the parking lot, no people wandering around. Who's up next? None of that. It was a real machine running out there, and you did a great job.
oh, thank you, Jack. Good to see you. A
Thanks,
couple
Jack.
more months, we'll be ready to play.
All right. Any more comments from members of the board on Jackie's report? All right. Any more comments from members of the public or adoring fans of Jackie on the report? All right. With that said, we will ask for a motion to. Are you bowing, Lauren? A motion to approve the report.
I'll make the motion.
Thanks, Ann. Second.
I'll second it.
All right, Ross. Great. Thank you again, Jackie.
All right, folks, have a great night. Thank you.
Wait, I have to do roll
Yep.
call.
Oh, well,
Heather Carmona,
yes.
Susan Collins,
Yes.
Pam Graham,
Yes.
Ross Kaplan,
Yes.
Ellie Noble,
Yes.
sorry, Dominic Felice,
Yes.
Ann Lip.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Jackie.
All right, you guys have a great night.
Good, Jack. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, moving on. The next item on the agenda is the Adams Park Design Consultant Proposal. And we have a memo from Kerry. You want to walk us through this, Kerry, a little bit?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so let me just start by saying, as we're moving forward with some of these park bond priority, our list of improvements that we're proceeding with because of park bond funding, I thought it might be beneficial to include just a little bit of background information from former city manager Joe Valentine to the city commission in July of 2020. So I've included a couple memos, for your review and reference as we are proceeding with these projects and design and development. I do apologize because I placed it after my memo, and so the proposal to Michael Duell is at the very end. So you have to dig through. I can pull up on my screen the proposal if you're having trouble finding it. But with that, Schedule 1 does have Adams Park as improvement for park development. And so the first step in proceeding with this development would be to secure Michael Duell and Associates to develop a preliminary development plan, or a park master plan, if you will, so that we can refine the elements and get it ready for construction. So Michael Duell and Associates did prepare our concept plan for Adams Park back in 2016. And I'm going to share my screen here just to remind everyone about what that concept plan looks like. So of course, we do need to revisit some of these elements of the park because it has been 5 years or longer since we've looked at it. So this proposal does include meetings with neighborhood groups, stakeholders such as Roper. It includes actually up to 8 meetings with Parks and Recreation Board, City Commission, in order to refine this plan. Also, a schedule has been provided as part of the proposal, which I'm just going to pull that up so everyone can take a look here. And so this was part of Michael Duell's proposal as well. The green blocks show the schedule, and actually that's everything that's included is in the green with this proposal. So once we're ready for construction drawings and specs, that'll be an additional cost at that time. But for now, all of the green, and it takes us up through September of this year to prepare this. So we're anticipating construction drawings and spec be this fall, with a bid out and an award hopefully for construction in late fall, early winter months. With that, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer, but we'd like to proceed with bringing Michael Duell on to help us with the design.
This is Dominic.
Thanks.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Dominic.
Sorry, I can't find the raise hand button for some reason. So I guess, and I'm thinking on behalf of the residents kind of in that South Poppleton neighborhood who have felt passionately about the Adams Park project for a long time now. And I have to imagine some of those folks may be disappointed to see that, you know, that this was advertised in a way as one of our most shovel-ready projects, or near the front of the line as the bond was voted upon. And yet we're looking out into, you know, the next calendar year and beyond to conceive of it being done. So I guess I would ask, are there any opportunities to move faster on this?
The Michael Duell and Associates did provide a schedule with meeting with the, you know, there's time that we need to meet with the groups, and then also to review the designs with the appropriate subcommittee, Parks and Recreation Board level, you know, so we have to have public input as part of proceeding and ultimately city commission approval. So there's time allotted for all those meetings. In addition, securing a contractor to perform a project on short notice. So I'm not sure how fast we're looking for, but we're finding that with projects, bidding out in the fall for a summer project is very appropriate.
I mean, I think we as a board here, we can understand a lot of the behind the scenes work that goes into these sorts of projects, and I fully respect, that there's a lot of work to be done, even if some or a lot of it is not terribly visible to the public. I'm just thinking out loud here to understand if there's any way to compress any of those blocks of activities. I mean, 1 month blocks of time seems very generous. Perhaps though it is already compressed, right? I mean, this is the speed of government, because we have to check so many boxes and attend so many meetings to incorporate all the feedback and appropriate approvals. Just asking to see if there is any opportunity, and really more or less not challenging the timeline, but thinking about how do we best articulate to the residents, and in particular those that are most closely related to the Adams Park project. How do we best articulate to them to set the expectations? Because I think perhaps some people went into the voting booth back in November expecting Adams Park to appear in the springtime.
Anne?
I just wanted to contribute. This was also brought up at the long range planning meeting. I watched part of it, and I did hear similar lines of discussion. So I know that is on other people's minds as well. Although I do appreciate that we do have to allot time for the public input. That's very important, and we want to get them what they want in the end. So you got two things to balance there. But I just wanted to bring that up.
Pam?
Yeah, I agree with those comments of Ann and Dominic and my neighbors, and I raised this issue last month, and I think that when you compare to the aggressive schedule for the ice arena, which also, I mean, considering the large expense, should have the same expectation for public review and input, it's disappointing. But my next topic is regarding the expectations that the architect will have regarding Roper School requested, what they requested 6 years ago regarding a shot put and long jump and what other track and field things. I think that we really need, in my opinion, or we can discuss as a group, we really need to discuss with the school whether they like and would support financially those inputs, or get them off of the scope of the park and not have the architect spend any time working on them. So is there a plan to secure that commitment from Roper before the architect begins work?
Yes, we plan on reaching out and having that conversation with Roper.
Lauren, if I can make a comment, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I think it speaks to both Ann, Dominic, and Pam, your comments here. In looking at the schedule, if you look at the timeline, based on when the vote was approved, this is fairly aggressive to have something designed, because again, it was a conceptual preliminary plan, and it was done, 5-6 years ago, right? When inflationary, their cost on materials, things have changed, in addition to people in the community have changed. So you are hearing from people in the park who want this to move forward, but there are a lot of other residents too who have no idea what's occurred in the history, as well as knowing that Roper and some of the other stakeholders may be in a different position. So I think for me, the critical piece in this is looking at the concept review phase that begins in March and April. And I'm just wondering, Kerry, if there is the opportunity to not unpackage those elements, but to begin looking at the previous budget prior to March. I mean, it's only a couple of weeks away, right? but really with the lens of how different do we think that those budget items will be, assuming that those items are going to be the same. You know, if Roper comes back and says, we want a shot put sounded great 6 years ago, but maybe we don't need a shot put there, then that's a different ballgame, right? So, you know, I think there are some factors here that, you know, we may be reopening again, starting from scratch. You know,
I see in the schedule, Kerry, that you talked to the stakeholders, Roper School, before the architects start spending money on concept assembling and reviewing the previous program statement. And I don't know that we should spend money or effort without the commitment of Roper School, unless you think that they really need to see those drawings before they decide if they're still interested. But I don't know what a drawing of a shot put thing is. You have to decide.
Ross?
Oh, Lauren, maybe you can fill me in, but if I recall, Roper did commit in 2016. Obviously, things have changed, but I thought it was a substantial amount.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Thanks. Well, you guys all raised a lot of great points and a lot of great issues of which we're very mindful of. This was, you know, when we did the educational campaign for the ballot language and the projects assembled of the priority list that the Parks and Rec Board put together for the commission, and Adams Park was not considered a shovel-ready project. And we knew with the concept plan, an old concept plan from 2015, 2016 that was accepted by the city commission would need to be reworked, and we not starting from a clean slate, but our plan, administration's plan, is to reach out to Roper and the neighborhood groups to initiate conversation and do some of that legwork before Mike Dool jumps in the ring, if you will, to make some comments and get some input, reacquaint ourselves with them. There's new regime, I'm sure, at all aspects of this, both the neighborhood groups possibly and Roper. Roper didn't officially or formally agree to or approve any dollar amount with the contingent of the plan. They gave us some ideas of things they wanted for their students and wanted to have ongoing at the park. So all of that will be started over again. And we have budget this year. We have money in the budget, which we already planned for consultant services, of which Michael J. Dool will assist us. But the full $700,000 estimated cost of the park, which is a 2022 construction estimate price, it is in the budget for the new year, the capital project budget for 21-22. So we're right on task, right on schedule. And I think you'll be very happy with the updates as we go forward with this. So tonight, we just really want to bring Michael J. Dool on board. You see his December proposal, and Kerry and I met with him last year. I reached out to him in July of last year, letting him know, beware, be warned. We're going to be moving on this if the bond goes through. So we've aligned all the people and the players, and we just look forward to going forward with this.
I have a quick question too, Lauren. Does Roper School have any ownership in this park?
The city purchased it from Roper. We do, however, have an agreement with them for their use and their access of the facility. So there is a cooperative coordination effort on timing, access, usage, and all those things will be taken into account as part of this plan and process. Yep, good question.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. Any other comments from the discussion on the memo or the item from the board? Any other comments from members of the public joining us this evening? Okay. Seeing none, we have a resolution in front of us to recommend the Adams Park Design Consultant Project Award Michael J. Dewell and Associates, further to forward this project to be considered for approval by the City Commission. Does anyone want to present a motion on the resolution?
I motion the resolution as stated.
Second that.
Great, thanks, Dominic. Thanks, Ross.
Okay, roll call. Heather Carmona,
Yes.
Susan Collins,
Yes.
Pam Graham,
Yes.
Ross Kaplan,
Yes.
Ellie Noble,
Yes.
Dominic Felice,
Yes.
Ann Lip.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Connie.
Thanks.
Okay, that concludes our agenda items. The next item on the agenda under communication and discussion is the presentation and the timeline for the bond timeline and sports arena under the long-range planning.
Heather, I see Cindy Rose has her hand up. I'm not sure if it was for something.
Oh, sorry, Cindy, I do see you now. Go ahead, Cindy. Can we have comments after the motion? We can.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, I'm sorry. I don't need to do this before the
No,
motion.
go ahead.
Heather, I was just struggling with my Zoom screen again and couldn't get my hand raised in time, so I beg your pardon.
No problem.
I just wanted to say, as far as the speed of Adams School, as somebody who is excruciatingly familiar with how long these things take, you know, after whatever, 15 years on Barnum, it seems like this, and I'm particularly directing this to Dominic with a smile, that these things just have to go through every step. And I do think that for the residents who thought it's coming sooner, the explanation is simply that we have to go through, you know, all these procedures again. But just knowing that this is on the docket for the coming year, I think will do a lot to, you know, assuage the concerns they have. It's on the docket. It just takes a long time. So that was my only point. People do understand that you have to go through all the procedures. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy, for that. All righty. Okay, Lauren, do you want to lead us into, I know we had several members of the board, which was great, attend the long range planning session a couple Saturdays ago. Do you want to walk us through this, Lauren?
Sure, thanks. Actually, we just wanted to provide the documents just as part of the package for the park board members as a whole and for the public. They're also on the website available for people to access, but the two items that pertain to our Parks and Recreation, of course, were the Parks and Recreation bond timeline, of which Kerry went through at the Parks and Rec board, excuse me, at the commission long range plan meeting. And then Robert Stempian was online on that Saturday morning to go over the Birmingham Ice Arena again. So we just wanted to provide that as material for you tonight. And then if you have any questions, we're happy to answer anything.
Thanks, Lauren. Any questions and comments from members of the board?
This is Dominic. I have a question.
Go ahead, Dominic.
So I'm wondering at what point can we clean up the material pertaining to the ice arena? And I say that because we have a lot of good, you know, history, a lot of good detail from Mr. Stempian and the associated studies that have been performed. My concern is that as we continue to republish those older documents, some members of the public may be confused, meaning the older documents still have multiple different recommendations, different, we'll say, paths to solution. And I think we owe it to ourselves to provide some clarity and stop talking about, you know, multiple options and focus the energy on the path forward.
Any comments? Any additional comments? Susan?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I'm even getting mixed messages too. There was that article that you sent out, Heather, and someone said, why are we spending $50,000? The number in Plant Moran says 25,000 is what the ice arena pays. I've heard it's break even, and I know as a subcommittee, we're working on that point. So that's something that we're working on. But when you look at those documents, Dominic's right. Now, is it once we get the architect involved that we can clean up those documents? Is that kind of what's holding us back? I don't know if this is a question for Kerry or for who, but I think it's a very legitimate question. And once we kind of lay that out, and it might be meaning when we get this architect on board, maybe he lays that out, because I don't think it's actually defined yet. But even if it's not defined yet, there's definitely some things in that ice arena that could be pulled out that we know we're not doing. You know, I still get questions. Are we doing a second rink? And we are not. And I don't know how we can bring that down just up to date to where we're at now. I know at the subcommittee meeting, John Rushi had recommended that we take it and just cross some things out of it. And I don't know if that's appropriate, but I think that's a really good point, and it's starting to get a lot of confusion out there. And so I'm not sure where we take this to. And I'm part of the subcommittee meeting, so if someone tells me I'd be happy to take it on, I just don't know what's the right path for it.
These are good comments. Lauren?
Yeah, I'll jump in on that. And actually, those are both great comments, Dominic and Susan. I think, and a little bit later in tonight's agenda, I'm going to go over the website tour, if you will, of some great data, that material that we have on the website. And I think taking into account your comments, we could clean up, if you will, what's out there, or at least identify, make sure the dates are clear, that they were older documents, and that the fresher, cleaner, newer, more current documents are available, and they're available first for reading purposes. So I'll get together with staff and our website manager, and we'll review those items, and then I'll be able to share that with the capital project subcommittee too.
That's great.
Does it sound like a good idea?
Yes, thank you.
Sure, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from or comments from members of the board? Okay. Susan, did you have?
No.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I think, and to your point too, I will just comment on, we're hopeful that, it's our role to communicate and to communicate effectively, right? And so there is, I think, still some misinformation around what the bond is paying for, what the city, is the total $5 million that the bond is paying for, the revenue or the loss that, was brought up at the long range planning meeting from some of the commissioners. And I think, our role is to continue to make it as clear as possible. And I think those are ways that definitely can be helpful. Lauren, I just want to make an observation or just a comment, and I don't know if it's for discussion here, but I listened to the presentation at the long range planning, and there were several commissioners that talked about, priority order of the projects and things like that. Taking into account some of the things that the commission mentioned, are those all items that should be brought back to the subcommittee? I heard a couple of commissioners mention the prioritization of trails. I heard one commissioner talk about, again, the prioritization of the pickleball courts, or the similar discussion around Adams Park. I mean, these are all things that could be vetted through the subcommittees, and how do we make sure as a board that we are addressing those concerns or making sure they're landing in the right place?
Yeah, no, those are great. We were actually going to respond to the commissioner comments from the long range plan meeting. I'm preparing something that Tom Marcus has asked me to prepare. So we hope to touch on that. And then I think you're right, Heather, that's a great forum with the capital project subcommittee. We could update you at that time, next time we meet, with regard to some of those strategies and plans, and the responses to the queries.
Great. Okay. All right, if we don't have any other comments on that communication item, we'll move on. The next item is Capital Projects Subcommittee Report from January 5th. And our trustee scribe for that is not present this evening. Susan,
I
Go ahead.
just kind of go over it since John's not here. And
that would be great.
one shout out to John I will give you guys is he is very big on this transparency. And I think even here, somewhere in here, he says we want to cross some things out on some of it to make sure people do understand what it is. So we are hearing what the commissioner is saying and what the board is saying, and we're working towards that. We met a couple weeks ago. I have to say our city, Kerry, Connie, and Lauren are super busy. They've already gotten some bids for architect and engineering for the ice arena, and I'm guessing that will help us narrow down those slides to show what is the right thing, where we're headed with it. They did bid it out to 50 firms. We received bids, I believe, from 3 of them, and Andrus Architecture is the one that has been recommended. They have done 26 rings in 8 different states, and I'm pretty sure, I don't have my notes with me because I didn't expect to talk on this, but I'm pretty sure they did Plymouth, which was not that long ago. And so I think the city, or Connie and Kerry and Lauren, felt they understand it, which I would agree with. You want someone that's done rings before. So that is who we're recommending to move forward as our architect. The other comments from there is we are, I'm sorry, I wasn't planning to speak on this today. We are asking the ice arena, and I know Connie and Lauren have been trying to get this for us, for the revenue and expenditure report so we can answer the questions. And like I said, today I have read 3 different numbers of where the ice arena lands, and none of them are what I believe are right. And so we are working on getting those numbers so that when we do get someone that says, hey, why are we losing this much money and spending money on something, we can give the right answer and we know what we're talking about, instead of just saying, well, I don't know. So we're working on getting those. Kerry also has put together, is starting to work on a bond project timeline for us through a Gantt chart. So that will hopefully keep us up to date on where things are at. And then we talked about the long range planning meeting that was going to be held on June 23rd. I think that's a brief update based on John's notes here for the meeting. Any questions?
Yeah. Thanks, Susan. Oh. Yeah, I think we have not had a planning meetings or a subcommittee meeting since our last full board meeting. So it's the same report that I think was in our January packet. So I just realized that. But we do have one scheduled, I think, next week or the week after. We're working on that now. Great. Any comments on the capital project subcommittee report? I do have a question. I don't know if this is the right time, but we talked a little bit about the timing, obviously, of the other subcommittees in our prior meeting. I'm not seeing that, but I presume those meetings are moving forward. Lauren, you touched on it a little in your last comment.
Well,
The trail.
Yeah,
the trail
yes.
committee, has the golf committees met as well? Or, okay, so they are meeting.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the trail has not. The golf committee, subcommittee certainly has, because Jackie went over her annual report. Brian and Jackie went over their last year's program and upcoming season. So they were great to meet with on that. And then Kerry and I were just chatting today about the trail subcommittee. We intend to get that moving and get some data and resources available to get those scheduled, but we just don't have any dates right at this time.
Okay. Great. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the ice arena finance report for the period ending December 31st.
This is going to be a standing item that we hope to have under communications. Similarly to what we have with the golf courses when we're in golf course season. This is created by the finance department. Last agenda item had a smaller, shorter version of this, and we had them expand the line items under revenue. So you could see the detail there with revenue. And then of course, all the expenditure items. And of course, because of the season, you know, we're behind. Revenues and expenditures are both down. So that's all relative, of course, based on the COVID season and being closed and having limited operations and access, frankly, overall. So watch for this. We'll continue to do this. And, you know, we look forward to this evolving too as the new rink gets going and opens up for the new season. You know, we might be able to tweak this a little differently going forward. So, but we're open to comments and things and suggestions. I know John Rucci had some input last time, and but I really want to keep it a valued document that's actual and reported properly. So we will ask that finance prepare it for, you know, it's really generated from our accounting system, which is finance generates it for us. And I think that just keeps it clean but if there's questions going forward, Connie or Kerry or myself will be able to look into it and get back to you on things if we don't know it. So that's it for that.
Susan, you have a comment?
I have a question, Lauren, and I don't know if you guys have looked at this, but with COVID, obviously Learn to Skate's not working. We had to, a lot of things have had to be canceled. Are we tracking kind of what we're losing? Because, you know, last year, obviously our revenues were not there because the rink was closed for so long due to COVID. And I think we're going to have some similar issues this year. And so I don't want our losses, you know, piled up and said, hey, you know, we lose $50,000 a month. And that's because like last year, of course we lost a lot because COVID, the rink was closed so much. And so are we separating that out, or do we know what those numbers are? Like, you know, with all the focus on this, I just want to make sure that we as board members understand what's out there. And, you know, just like the golf thing, they're doing fantastic because everything's closed. And I want to make sure we understand for the ice arena as well, what the impact of COVID is on the ice arena and the revenue.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. That's great questions and comments, Susan. The finance report that you have before you is 6 month. So our fiscal year is July 1 to June 30th. So when you say last year for COVID in the arena, I still look at it as we're in the same year operationally. Okay. Right. So, but we will track it and keep tabs on it. And we've been very limited on the users and the access and the groups that are able to come into our arena, and concessions have been closed down the entire time. And so We're going to really feel it, but we'll know that as our season winds down right before construction, and then we'll be able to give an update as compared to prior years and things of that nature. So
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Pam?
I mean, maybe the tool or what to look for, to Susan's point, would be like a reforecast. Can staff look at the expenses and make a forecast through June of 2021? Maybe based on, you know, there's nothing opening up, whatever, things stay the same, or there's more open. I just don't think we should have to wait till June to understand how much money it's costing, you know.
Well, you're not going to have to wait till June. As you're going to see these financials every month, and we'll be able to supplement it with some other material if to keep you abreast of everything. So,
okay, so maybe I'm not understanding the amended budget on the budget column. That doesn't seem to be considering the COVID losses, the changes in expenditures. Is there a COVID budget amendment?
No.
Current?
Nothing. This is the budget that was that we're under prior to COVID.
It would be useful to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just my world of work. Like budgets are reforecasted all the time because of these kind of changes in car sales or whatever. So it might be useful to have. I'm kind of surprised maybe the city doesn't look for reforecasting. Maybe there's a limit to how much we can lose, but I don't know.
Yeah, we do budget, we do projections and budget forecasts when we do fourth quarter budget reviews. We're in the midst of right now, our budget numbers are in there for 21, 22. And we had to make projections for this current year. I'll see what we can generate for you in the upcoming months.
Maybe that would be useful, that idea of projections, just if we're gonna have some public questions and scrutiny regarding the income of the rink.
Great.
Thanks.
Pam. Susan?
I think for me, if I could just see the same report for the time period from last year to date, I think I would be able to answer the questions, just so I can look at the difference, because obviously we know what it is. And if that's, I don't know if it's available, but if it is, I think that would be really helpful.
Great. Any other comments on the finance report? Okay, seeing none, we will move on into where we stand right now with the ice arena improvements.
Okay, we've had a good lead up to this. So with that said, you all had mentioned the architect engineering services, design services that have been on board, and they've been hitting the ground running since they were awarded the contract by the commission. And it's keeping Kerry and Connie and myself occupied regularly, daily. But they're on track. The design services, they're working on that plan right now, leaving no stone unturned with regard to that. And they're developing the design development plans, if you will, and they're getting them ready for owner review. So we're soon going to share it, with the building department and other review groups internally, as well as we're going to bring the plans to the Parks and Rec Board at your next meeting, March 2nd, so you could see the proposed design and layout of not only the additions, but the renovations, interior renovations to the ice arena. We think you'd be really, really pleased. I think the team that has been assembled for this project, for a $5.1 million estimated project cost, the team that's assembled for this is bar none the best. Their credentials, their skills, the assembly of, they're from all around the country. We meet on a weekly basis with them. In addition to on and off times, but you have a great team. You're going to get a quality product on budget, on schedule, and I think you'll be real excited to see what we have to show you in March. We're hoping, I think we'll be able to have Robert Stempian and Robert Andrus, who is the architect that we hired, on that call. They'll be able to go over that with you and answer questions, so we're real excited. Otherwise, it's doing really well. They're on track, and we look forward to showing you it then.
Anne?
Hi, I'm so excited. Can't wait to see the plans. I know that they're working hard. I just wanted to bring up, at the long range planning meeting, one of the commissioners was expressed a lot of hesitation about the rink, saying that it was a special interest facility. And I just wanted to make a comment on that. I don't think it's a special interest facility. I think that our rink is open to a wide variety of people, but I want to just bring to the forefront, remind everyone that bond proposal, the language explicitly stated that the funds would be used to renovate the ice arena. The city's website earmarked that figure for the rink, and the residents of the city voted for that bond proposal with more than 70% of the vote. So I want to just remind everybody of that when we hear certain, I don't know if they're trying to walk it. I don't want to slow it down at all. I think this is going to be a great project. I'm so excited to see it move forward. And just wanted to reiterate my support and let you know that I can speak on behalf of my family, my parents who live in Birmingham, all my neighbors. We're just excited to see this project come to life.
Great, Ann, thank you. Any other comments from any members of the board? All right. Lauren, I had one question. So I'm just looking at the milestone, the preliminary schedule that you talked about, a couple of the dates in it. The construction, so we will be seeing the designs at our March meeting. And then I presume then it would be the following meeting of the commission. Are they approving? They would approve them at a meeting on the 15th. And then bids are going out the following week. I just don't see in our preliminary schedule a city commission. I presume that the city commission is going to have an approval period between this, correct?
Right, there's going to be some groups that will review it. We're trying to keep to the schedule as you know, it's a tight schedule as you knew going into this. All the necessary reviews will occur, but we wanted to show you guys the plans first. And then I'll get to the other groups, including the commission. Right. Obviously at the appropriate time.
Yep. Yeah, I just want to make, clear to members of the public too, that coming to us on the 3rd does not mean that, I think we are looking at it with the lens of what was approved in the bond in the points made earlier in the meeting about the process and all the components that are part of this phase. But there's time for input, particularly going to the commission, before it actually goes out to bid. So I think that that's important, that the public and anybody who wants to participate and have a say in that be participatory also in our meeting on the 2nd. So, okay. Great, we will move on. Lauren, staying informed, the public information, and you're going to give us a little bit of walkthrough of the city's website.
Real quick, we're going to share the screen with you real quick. As well, Kerry's pulling that up for me. As you guys remember, John Rushi had a great suggestion last month at our park board meeting to do a little website tour, and it couldn't be more appropriate with everything that we've discussed tonight already. That we had communications department put together this little snippet, and it's only like 4 slides, but it's staying informed about the Parks and Rec board, or bond. I mean, Kerry, do you have that? Okay. So we have great tools on the city website so that people could stay informed. These are the tools that I was referencing earlier that Dominic and Susan mentioned about cleaning up a little bit and making the ease of the residents to find items and to have accuracy and not misinformation. So I just go through these real quick. All right, so next slide. All right, so the big one that we created, as you remember too, before the bond vote, was the website bhamgov.org/parksbond. This is going to be our prime information site that we're going to have the latest and greatest on the projects that we have underway, such as the ice arena renovation project, Adams Park, pickleball, trails, everything that's going to be happening this will be a good go-to site. And then the next slide is what we did. We created and maybe this will be a good spot to put this. This is the background information that we had when we were doing the education campaign last year, and we didn't want to lose that information or that background. So we merged it onto another website page so the public could see everything that we had to help inform and educate the public on what the priority list was and what was included. So this is also available to the public. And then the next one is, of course, our favorite, the ice arena. This actually is the most sought after and viewed webpage of the whole Birmingham website is the ice sports arena. So yay, look at you smiling. I see ya. So, so there's all good information on this too. And obviously this will be about the ice arena and renovation project. So this is available to the public as well. And then the next one is, in order to see all that and be informed when new material go on these websites, go to the homepage of the Birmingham website, which is bhamgov.org. And then on the very homepage, you go up in the top right-hand corner, there's a little envelope. If you click on that envelope, it'll take you right to this page, Constant Contact. Make sure you put in your emails and your name, and you click everything you're interested in, but I know most of your ice arena and Parks and Rec bond. So click those. And then when we, the staff or the administration add any new morsels of information on those pages, you'll get a email hit to go see some updates. So this is great. We're working in conjunction with the communications department and communications director, Mary Ann. She helped put these slides together for us, and John had a great idea. And I think this might help us clean up some of the material that you referenced earlier tonight. So with that, if you have any questions, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Thank you, Kerry.
About that, Susan's.
I just think that's great, Lauren and Kerry and Connie. Thank you for putting that together. I will be on there tonight and clicking my interests. That's a wonderful tool for us.
Great, thank you.
It looks like Robert Runco has his hand up.
Huh.
Sorry, Robert, I'm not seeing that. Oh, yes. All right, Robert. Thanks, Connie. Go ahead, Robert.
Can he turn his mic off, or do we have to? Or on? I don't
can unmute. If Eric, I don't know. Can you unmute Robert? Or
Yeah, I've requested him and unmute. Should be there.
Can anybody hear me now?
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
We can.
All right, I guess you got my voice, but no video, and that's fine. But I did want to let you know, as president of the Birmingham Hockey Association, we're here for any support you guys need as well. Obviously representing about 400 families in the neighborhood. Any support you guys need, we're here. I just wanted you to know that we're listening and we're here for you.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Robert.
Sorry, Heather.
Nope.
Get so casual on these Zoom calls, huh?
Well, you don't have any video.
No, I know. It just, thanks, Robert, for joining us tonight.
Anytime.
Great.
Lauren, if you could make Heather a co-host, she might be able to see the hands better.
No, I think it's user error, Eric. I'm scrolling. I could see it. I just had a short version of the participant screen. Thank you. All right. Any other comments? I am scrolling here.
Okay, she's your co-host, Heather.
Oh, now I'm officially on the spot.
Sorry.
No
Just
excuses.
Just at the end of the meeting, too.
Yeah, exactly. All right, our last item is for information. That's great. I think as we get information that we see, Lauren will provide it to all of us so that we're informed. Yep. All right. And I think that's the only other item on our agenda, under communications.
I think there was just that article about the lots of outdoor activities in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yep. Okay. We will move on the agenda to any unfinished business. Any members of the board have any unfinished business? Nope. We're getting our business taken care of. All right, next item, any new business? Members of the board?
Is Robert raising his hand again?
Yes, yes, he is.
Robert.
He's at the top. He's getting cut off. I'm sorry, Robert.
All right, you got me now?
I got you now. Go ahead.
All right, sorry, I was trying to get your attention, but if you don't mind, can you go down to the schedule? I just wanted to make you aware of a couple of things in regards, let me get out of here because I'm on the Birmingham website. Okay, to page number 58 of the proposed agenda for the hockey rink. And on the bottom left corner, you have the timeline. And I know you guys are working your butts off, and we appreciate everything you guys are doing. And obviously, I can tell you on behalf of every single person in the hockey community that we're so excited for this. And anything that we can do to help support this, we're all in. One question that we have for you guys is, of course, the last part, owner occupancy, and that's September 20th. And I guess a question that we're going to be working with you guys on a lot is how firm is that date? And again, is there any way to escalate that? And I understand, there's going to be setbacks and whatnot with COVID and everything else as well. However, the entire fall season starts 2 weeks prior to that on the Monday. So that means all, 400 kids that we have in there, obviously, and you guys all realize that the Birmingham Hockey Association is your number one customer. We're your largest financial resource. And that if we get set back, and obviously we're going to be a part of any of those communications we can be in to help out in any way to at least advise the hockey community that any date beyond that obviously is going to push back everything as far as practices, games, scheduling, things along those lines. So Lauren, I don't know, do you have any intel on that? Because I was kind of talking earlier, if there's a way that we can release out of our contract a little earlier to let you guys start the construction earlier, because obviously this year has been a whirlwind, and obviously you guys realize the impact of the financial situation with nobody being able to skate. Obviously that's where you're seeing all your revenues down. That's pretty simplistic there. But so Lauren, on that date with Robert, because obviously, we've all had communications with him, how firm is that date? Have you guys had any communications about that?
Sure, Robert. We're doing the best we can to limit our exposure to lost revenue, of course, and to restricting access to the rink. So you're right, it's a give and take. It's either we start construction sooner if we can, barring everything on the schedule goes according to plan, or or we extend we start a little bit later. So we tried to balance that as best we could when we laid out this plan, and we got with Robert Stempian and bid this out. And I know all the players, all our professional services are real cognizant of the fact that we generally are started sooner than this. But definitely we could chat with Robert and I'll report back to you.
Okay. I mean, it might not even be an option because I know there's also some people that we had spoken with. So you have some BU, the high school teams that are on this call as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll speak for them as well. Obviously, I think they're in the same boat, but they are, we'll talk about that because I think they have dates. If they're allowed to go back to skate, their schedule may in fact be pushed. So they may be skating, through April. So again, it's kind of all tizzy. I just wanted to make you guys aware of some of the things that we're going through as your customers, that we're trying to work through, to use your ice as best we can as well. So I guess, Lauren, you have my number, and obviously everybody knows me, that Connie and whatnot. So if there's anything we can do, to help you guys, like you said, just to stay in communications with you, because obviously you'd love to see us back on the ice as well, because then we're spending more money. So, so I guess we'll just stay in touch, right? So that's, why don't we just leave it at that? I understand, because there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be problems. I guess, when I do my construction projects, you just try to make sure, is there a way that we can maybe order some of these supplies in advance while we're waiting? The city's going to buy them, they're going to own them, things like that. Because let's just be realistic. I mean, we all built houses or done a construction project, and I've never had one complete on time. So I just don't want to get this thing pushed, so that we're looking at an October start date, right? Because that just pushes us way back. Obviously, not much you can do about it, but anything we can do, I guess, one of those subcommittees, I'd love to jump on and help you guys out.
No, I completely understand. It's one of our concerns as well. And, keeping our fingers crossed. So far, the schedule is great. We talked about ordering some materials sooner rather than later too. So whatever we can do, definitely, Robert, we will do, and I'll keep in touch with you.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank all of you guys for, all the support you guys have given us.
Thank you, Robert.
Heather, it looks like there's another one, TRP Zoom.
I do see that. Go ahead if you can introduce. Go ahead.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Sorry, it's Steve Carroll, and like someone else on there, I have a little bit of user error that I don't know how to change my name on here. So it's, I apologize, but Steve Carroll, president of the BU high school hockey board, and just want to echo some of the comments that have been made, like Ann, about the absolute excitement that's going on, with the changes that are being made and throughout the program. We recognize all the efforts that, like Kerry and Lauren and Connie are putting in, and all of you guys. And then we certainly appreciate it. And like Rob said, we are here every step of the way to support you guys. Just let us know what you need. And, we're very excited about getting this thing to fruition, having the kids playing in their own home arena with their own locker room. And the whole facility is just going to be, a much better state of the art. And so we're very excited. And I just want to offer my support, and looking forward to seeing it get done.
Great comments. We appreciate, Steve, that very much. And Robert, thank you. All right. I'm going to do last little review here, make sure I'm not missing any other hands.
I have
Pam.
a comment. Regarding the schedule, I'm not sure if the city ever issues contracts that have a bonus for the contractor finishing ahead of schedule or on schedule, or if we could structure a bonus that would be similar to the revenue loss or hardship we would have if the project was delayed. Is there an opportunity to put an incentive in there to have on-time completion?
Well,
Lauren, do you want to address that? I don't know what this history of the contracts has been in that regard.
Yes, there has been a history of that. Good idea, Pam. And yeah, we either penalize them or we give them a bonus. So we could look at all of it. Yeah, well, I think that's a good idea. Costs more, but it's a great idea.
Great. Pam, you're still talking. You're muted still. We can't hear you anymore, Pam.
Sorry. I think that it's also good for communication. Then the contractor is going to be keeping track of timing and reporting it, and it's good for transparency with these users that really need to know about the schedule, be updated. So I think it would be good.
Great. Okay, I see a hand from Brandon Reichensmeyer. Brandon, if you want to unmute, you can go ahead.
Yep. Member here at Birmingham, member of the BHA board, former BHA player, father now of a child who is in the program and a daughter who skates in the Birmingham Figure Skating Club. Just want to note here again, very excited having played in that arena, and I'm in my mid-30s now. I've seen it, and I can't wait to see what it comes to with fruition here this fall, and hopefully on time. I know there's obviously going to be delays that are unforeseen, but the sooner we can get the kids back on the ice. This season has been, I coach and help out for the mini mites, so our 5 and 6 year olds, and they've gone through a lot this season with being on and off the ice, and Connie's done a phenomenal job, as have the rest of the rink staff, of getting us on the ice safely and following all the proper protocols to do so. So starting the season on time as best we can, and getting these kids back on the ice and back playing hockey and skating and everything else will just be awesome. And I can't wait to see how the arena turns out. Those locker rooms need to be bigger, and that's a highlight that I'm looking forward to. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks, Brandon. And these comments, we appreciate this because this is the support from the residents that we're, when we hear that we have a lot of non-resident users, it's evident that we're serving the needs of our primary users. And so to have your support and partnership and understanding of it as being just that, a collaborative partnership, we want to work closely and continue to work closely and in the best interest for all of us. So thank you very much. All right. I'm going to go through, see any more hands here on any items of new business. I see Zach Warson. Zach, you can go ahead if you would like to unmute. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Zach. We can hear you.
Thank you, everyone. So my name is Zach Warson. I'm the new varsity head coach for Birmingham Public Schools and the Birmingham Unified Hockey Program. I just wanted to echo what has been said and the excitement in the arena. Coaching in the Birmingham Hockey Association for multiple years, and now going with the high school program and going up. I think it's very exciting for our athletes and everybody involved with the city to have this. Obviously, as we know, this has been a very, very trying year, and especially with our kids with the winter sports the way it is. So to see some of this future and see all the hard work and being the first time on this call and hearing the support and echoing the comments of Connie and everybody in the staff in the arena doing what we can to keep us safe and get us back on the ice full has been a great experience, and look forward to seeing the kids come in with smiling faces next year when this is all completed. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Zach. All right, any other comments? Okay, we will move into items from the public not on the agenda. All right. Seeing none, I think we are adjourning at 8 o'clock. Gary?
I'm sorry, I wasn't sure to raise my hand. It was user error again.
You guys keep getting me in trouble. Go
Sorry
ahead,
about
Gary.
that.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I'm just I was a past president of the BU and the BHA, and just wanted to sound off again as well as support of what's been going on here. It's the tremendous help from the staff to get this to where it is now, and we're so excited to make this happen. I just wanted to reiterate what you noted a few minutes ago as well, that this is a community rink with lots of people that are involved and provide a lot of revenue and support for this arena. And I think you noted that's what this is for, and getting input from everybody, and as well as is important. But you know, it's not just the residents; it's a lot of people involved in this as well. And I think you noted that, and that needs to be remembered, that there's a lot of, we bring this these teams are from the community in the area, and a lot of the users are as well. And we're excited to see this, and we'll support it any way we can.
Great, Gary. Thank you. All right, these ice guys are coming out of the woodwork here. Anybody else? All right. We will move on. I think we can adjourn our next meeting, regular meeting. We'll look forward to seeing the plans for Tuesday, March 2nd. We will adjourn our meeting this evening. Thank you, everyone.
Night.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.